Vanier in Ottawa, Vanier?
Yeah, yeah, I know him. The area.
Okay, so you have Rockcliffe. Rockcliffe is on the north side of that particular street, Beechwood.
Rockcliffe, okay.
That's old properties, old English money from back in the day.
Okay.
Uh, Former Prime Minister Chrétien had an apartment in a condo on
Okay.
Beechwood.
Mhm.
Then when you come to the south side of Beechwood, you have the nefarious Vanier,
Okay.
and it is kind of two parts. The northern part of Vanier, not so bad,
Mm-hmm.
but the southern part, yeah, you definitely don't want to go there. So
Okay.
from the perspective of potential upside with regards to what's been going on in that area with uptrending,
Okay.
these little, internal village communities,
All
you
right.
know, like the Danforth in Toronto, Ronsonsville, whatever. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that type of activity is going on,
Okay.
and that presents an upside. You are couple of minute walk to Beechwood.
Okay.
You are a 5 minute drive to the core of Ottawa, the market and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So it's a central city location. It's a circa, I don't know what I say, turn of the century bungalow. It's a wooden frame. It's in rough shape. It's being launched at 380,000. When you look inside, not very good. No finished basement, nothing. Like it's a fixer upper flipper.
Mm-hmm.
How you would potentially go in there and either blow it out and build uh, a duplex, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's being advertised as potentially a mini high rise apartment kind of thing. So
Okay.
not sure what the bylaw restrictions are if you can go 3 stories or 4 stories,
Mm-hmm.
particularly here in Orleans. And I think it's the same way in Canada, in Canada. If
Yeah.
you if you want to blow out your uh, say typical 1,700 square foot 3 bedroom um, suburban single residential unit over here, you can't go vertical.
Yeah.
They got bylaws about going vertical. But a sidebar on that one, Leo, I don't know if you or your audience is familiar with something called the Land Patent Grant.
Yeah.
Qu'est-ce que c'est the Land Patent Grant? This is the original crown ownership of the property being first ever presented to the public sector.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Peterborough to the Ministry of, forget what ministry it is. You request that document and you put that on your window. And let's not be ridiculous now. You're not going to take that residential suburban unit and blow it to a 25-story building.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been challenged in the courts more than once. The bylaw guy can't tell you what you or you cannot do on your property.
Mm-hmm.
And with the proper ammunition, you could easily go to a third story and do some other things.
But
That's
is it a property for you, you think? Because when it goes this much deep into bylaw problem and zone changing or things like that, high rise and things like that, is it something you are seriously interested?
this is I'm talking about forced added value. Either you take what is a 3 bedroom unit here in the suburbs
Yeah.
and you blow out the basement. Uh, None of these. Well, I grew up in Toronto. I grew up in Toronto in the West End. Uh, everybody had an entrance into their basement from outside,
Of course.
you know, in the
How
city.
much will cost for the renovation for you?
Yeah, yeah. So over here, none of these properties have that feature.
Mhm.
You have to do that yourself.
Yeah,
And that converts a 3-bedroom at least into a duplex,
mhm.
and you make it a 3-bedroom plus 2 in the basement. You know, I give you, I did, I did one where it was a semi,
Mhm.
a semi, a semi detached Victorian townhouse,
Okay.
and we added on the back. It was originally a 2-bedroom.
Okay.
2-bedroom, unfinished basement, uh, semi-detached. So we did an extension at the back of it,
Mhm.
and we blew out the basement. So that created a full 1 suite down in the basement and converted it into a duplex of 3 bedrooms plus the 1 bedroom in the basement.
So
Now,
what's your budget here?
no, I'm just talking of past projects. So that type of thing is partially of my interest, where you add value, but you know, it's all costing, all crunching numbers, everything else, right? And when I seen that one in Vanier, that that was pressing some of my buttons, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But within few minutes of first glance, we should understand whether it's a good deal. One,
Yep,
second, we have to understand whether it is for me or somebody else.
yep.
And if it is somebody else, am I to take that and give it to them on a wholesale deal, or just am I going to refer it, or am going to forget it?
Right. That was my other thought. That was my other thought immediately. Is this a potential uh hold and release with the wholesale type of situation and just get a couple bucks out of it that way? That
So,
definitely has an upside.
yeah, if you really think that way, or whether you want to buy for yourself for the renovation, or you want to do wholesale, or even to refer it to somebody else, you should at least know the budget of the renovation and what are the
Oh,
major
absolutely.
things to
Oh,
do.
absolutely. Yeah.
What's the number? You have any idea?
You know, I just, like I said, I didn't have too much time here before 7 o'clock
Okay, okay.
to look at anything, and that's one that I just out of a couple dozen I looked at, that was one that had kind of, you know,
Okay,
superficial interest.
go further down and bring up that same deal if you feel it's good for tomorrow. We can just go through that.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Anything, Jonathan?
Yes, Leo, I have seen 3 properties, two
Oh, wow.
triplex and one multiplex. I
Multiplex
have
means
the
how many?
MLS numbers. Can I send it to you?
Yeah, multiplex means what? How many units?
Uh, it says 14 rooms.
Okay, so it's something you're suitable student rental type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm looking at the area of Belleville
Okay,
in Hastings.
correct.
It's
Yes.
close to Loyalist College.
Yes. So I
But
can let you share. So I
Is
make
that in
you.
Toronto?
Yeah, it's about 1.5 hours or somewhat away from Toronto. Jonathan. Okay, I made you as co-host, so you can share your screen. You will see.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to get this screen.
that's the MLS number.
You can share your screen.
Oh,
I'll
there we
put you
go.
as a co-host.
I really don't know how to do that.
Okay. So can you copy that MLS link in the chat?
Um, you can go ahead with somebody and I will do that.
Okay. You type the address otherwise in this
Oh,
MLS
sure,
properly.
sure.
Is that Belleville? Is that what you said, Belleville?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, sunny downtown Belleville. Um, we've got a lot of people, commuting from Belleville to Scarberia. Scarborough, yes?
Where is it? Scarborough.
Is that not true today?
Belleville to Scarborough. I have no idea. Many people gone from Scarborough to Belleville. Time
If
will
it-
come for them to come back
If
because
it's,
if work from home is not allowed. Is it 40, 60
yeah,
Wallbridge?
correct.
there we go.
So guys, you see this? Can you see my screen?
Yep,
Okay, okay. So 6 Wallbridge. Okay, it looks something 649 and 6 bedrooms. And 3 stories, 74 by 134. Property tax 3,900. Triplex.
that looks really
Okay.
good. That looks good off the top.
Yeah, for the price, it looks okay. And do you have the numbers? Did you talk to them and get the rent roll and everything?
The rental information, everything is there on the MLS.
Okay. So what is your calculation? Did you calculate anything, whether it is worth it or not?
No, I didn't have enough time.
Okay, okay. So do you feel it's a good deal or you still have just doubt and you think it is 3-bedroom triplex, so you brought it here?
I have seen a multiplex as well.
Okay.
That is 209 Albert Street.
209 Albert Street.
209 Albert Street, Belleville.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, 209 Albert. How many bedroom? How many units? 5-bedroom, 3 units.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
4037 to 2031. Multifamily. Is it duplex or triplex?
it says multiplex.
They say multiplex, but how many? Unit 2 and 3 are both vacant. Unit 2 is a gem with greenhouse space, posting 2-bedroom. Station provides Unit 2 offers access to the garage. Unit 3 upstairs is a true highlight. Okay, featuring 1-bedroom and this one. Okay. So it's also triplex. They simply say multiplex, but actually it is triplex too, I think.
Okay, but this has been in the market for almost 98 days.
Yeah, again, you can see the number of washroom is 3. So you can
Mhm.
simply assume probably it is triplex, and the basic information also unit 1, 2, 3. So it's triplex. For the triplex, market is in the market for about 98 days, $4,000, so 4,700 tax. Maybe property picture wise good, but it's fully done property. So when it is fully done property, one thing is there is no more capital appreciation. It can be good for rental income, but not everybody is looking for capital appreciation, force appreciation. For people to do a force appreciation, first, of course, they should have time. Second, they should have money. And third, they should have the knowledge. So if that is not there, that particular capital appreciation is not for them. And of course, they can buy at a reasonably good market price or what, or little under market value, and then they can wait for a few years, then the appreciation can come. That depends on the time and the market. So that's a sort of gambling, but it's okay. But many people gamble even at the current property value itself high and they buy. So that's a risk. So is everything done? So you cannot do any appreciation. And only good thing is it is not rented yet. So it's a vacant property, so you can put the current rent. That's a good thing. And you have to see the numbers. Then you can see whether it is really good in the numbers are good to make sense. How much is total gross rent going to talk about here? Vacant. They never tell about any of potential rental income. So you have to do your research and see through GG or existing MLS and everything, and see for this size and for this location property, how much would this be? And
Okay,
here in this comparable 2 bedroom 699 listed, that looks like a 4 bedroom 2 bathroom individual house maybe. Other one is 699, 3+2 and 3 bathroom. Other one is 3 bathroom 720. Okay, that's we looked at already. Yeah, it's going in the range, so you have to really go deeper and see. And the thing is, if you are serious, just talk to the realtor and get the rental potential rental income.
okay,
And again, property tax, you know that, and since it's a triplex, hopefully it is heated by baseboard, otherwise gas. What is that telling there? Radiant heater. You see that in the picture, you would have seen that first or second picture showed. You see this one? It is a radiant heater. So it's really taking space. Good thing is probably is a boiler. So it is heated by water, and that water can be heated probably by natural gas. In that case, it's fairly cheap, but it is taking a lot of space. So that's the issue. Rather than that, it may be reasonably good, but you can check the cost of utility and everything. And again, water maybe based on the usage, you don't need to worry too much about it. And the electricity. So when you come for the triplex, if all the 3 meters are separate, you can just make sure that they are going to pay everything. Otherwise, if the hydro is the only thing has separate meter, then you have to share the gas or heating cost and the water.
okay.
Then you have to split it or you have to absorb it in the rent. So this is how the things are happening. So for those, you have to really talk to the realtor. Otherwise, you have to see the property or go deeper into the content and understand it. And only one problem here, it is only 137 by 131. Sorry, 37 by 131. It's for an ordinary property, it is okay. But if it is a triplex, where is the parking? One garage, and if you park inside or in front, then nobody can take the second car or whatever. Otherwise, check it if there is any other parking. So that's since it's a small lot, that's a small issue we have to think about.
Okay.
But 98 days in the market after a fully done property means probably it's attractive, but I don't know whether it is really worth it. Just talk to them and see the potential rent.
Okay.
Probably the other one, this may be somewhat good because the price is somewhat similar, but it has a fairly separate things, different floors and things like that. Check about the basement, 1, 2, 3 levels other than the basement. So basement may be an additional opportunity. And we have to see the height of the basement, or if it is completed, just go through the information. Purpose built triplex. Yeah, what's the situation about this building?
I believe that you see that back picture of it. You see that first level, that's the ground basement level. See, that's the backyard pic there. There's nothing below that window there.
Yeah, you are maybe correct because probably the first unit fairly above the surface, because even the window is well above the ground. Yeah. In that case, they can be partially half underground and half above ground.
There's a slope. Yeah, there's a slope there. So
yes,
and it looks like it looks to me like it's really two. Like, how many bedrooms on each floor? 2, 4, 6. It says 6 bedroom. There's only looks like there's only one entrance way. So there's a stairway that goes up and whatever. Yeah. Okay. Just a side question. This has been on the market for 98 days. What have you seen trending in the last while with regards to kind of a nominal days on the market, which is a good trigger point? If it's longer than X days, there's obviously some reason for that. But with our environment right now, things aren't moving maybe as fast as they have been in the past. You know, so it's like a 30-day, 40-day, is that a typical for a good, a reasonable deal? Sure, some are gonna get scooped up right away.
Yeah, but here the good thing here is it has 4 hydrometers and 3 gas meters, 4 water meters. So it
Oh,
is
yeah.
not a triplex, probably it's a fourplex, but there is only 3 bathroom. So the basement has some opportunity, but maybe they did not do it. If you put the bathroom in the basement, it can become as a 4-bedroom, fourplex, because it has 4 water meter and everything. If that possibility is there, chances are there. But at the same time, as you said, 98 days it's in the market means they asking over the price or comparable price or somewhat closer. And again, this is fully tenanted already. All 3 tenants are living, and it is making only $32,000. So not even, yeah, $870, $900, but probably heat, hydro, water, everything is paid by the tenant. That's a good thing. But still, can you cover the mortgage with the rental income, $32,000? Probably not. Again, if the basement is not complete, and my guess is that if that is doable, how much can you rent that again? Sometimes these tenants may be living there for a longer time. Maybe that's the reason they are giving this 770, because I have properties even in Hawkesbury. I am charging $1,100, $1,200, $1,400. So this price shows the tenant is living there for a long time, maybe. Just check with the realtor.
Sure.
Only
I've seen one
opportunity
more,
is, yeah,
I've seen one more property. I put the address on the chat.
okay, I go through that.
225
But this
William
property is
Street.
a very solid, beautiful property, even though it's a triplex
The
or
first one,
fourplex.
right?
Probably, yeah, this
Yeah.
one has, because it's fairly separate. Each unit may be each building, each floor may be each unit. I don't know, possibilities. So it looks good, structurally good and everything. But if there is any potential to evict a tenant, at least by saying, yes, I want to move into this property, then the tenant has to get out. If that's a case, out of the 3, you will capture 1. And if the basement is, as I told, it is vacant or must complete, then the second rental unit also can come to the market value, market rent. So only other 2 will be there. Just check their age or who, whatever. So based on that, you can guess whether this tenant is going to live there for long, or probably chances are there to move out or whatever. Then you can take some chance and try. And again, you have to ask the realtor why they are selling. Based on that, you can understand if there's any urgency, and of course, how long they have been keeping this property. Based on that, you can see, will there be any chance to reduce the price or giving any VTB, things like that. So just because that is 98 days in the market, it is not, okay, it's only 13 days. The other one is only 98.
Correct.
This can be somewhat good. Just talk to them, because the lot size is good. You see 74 by 134. So that's a very good lot.
But there's no
Yeah.
basement.
Okay.
The
Then
MLS says
where
no
is that?
basement.
Okay, then where is that 4th meter and gas meter, hydrometer go? That's not, that means basement is not complete or no basement at all.
It
I
says
only seen 3 gas meters on the wall there in that picture. I didn't see a 4th one.
The 4th one is for the coin-operated laundry, I think.
Yeah,
Oh.
the gas meter, there are only 3 gas meters and
Yep.
4 hydrometer
So 4 hydrometers,
and 4 water meter, because generally people don't get different water meters.
right? So
It's for
one for each apartment, hydrometer, and
And it's fairly long property. You see, it's 134 length, and the property is fairly in front of the road. So you may have some good backyard, but now Ontario government is giving lots of opportunity to additional units and extending and things like that. So you may be able to make something at the behind as an addition or individual cabin or whatever. So those opportunities are there, but if you know the area, you can explore the opportunities. This particular property is no harm to explore and at least learn.
the separate water is for what is that? Laundry, I think.
Which one? The 4th meter?
Yeah, because there's only for water and something else, right?
Maybe, yes, as you said, 3 gas meters, and they may have connected. Yeah, it's possible, definitely. But where they are keeping that, are they using the whole basement for that or what? We don't know. So as you
Yeah.
said, since it is a coin operated machine, they may have taken the water, everything separate for that too. But it's a well structured, well planned property. Yeah, if you are close by, have a look for sure.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. So what is the next property you want to say?
I put on the chat 225 William Street. Belleville.
Is that correct?
Belleville.
This is still
Yeah.
Belleville? Okay.
This one?
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, 7 bedroom, 6 bathroom. Okay, $200 per unit. And location fabulous, old East Hill, large units, large characters, and bedroom 1.5, 1,500, 203 bedrooms. That's 2 bedrooms. Okay,
Unfinished basement. Good thing.
Yeah, basement is unfinished.
correct. Yeah, if it is unfinished basement, first of all, check it whether it is how height is the basement.
Sorry,
Because
height.
yes, height of the basement, because
Height and windows.
yeah, and because underpinning may be very difficult in this, so you cannot really do much if the basement height is not good enough. But
Okay.
otherwise, solid building, yes, we can see that. A triplex, but it's fairly big, lot size is big,
Yeah.
and the rental income you see, both property you see, the other one is $770,000 rent, and this one is about 1,100 or 1,200 rent a square feet, and both oh, they didn't tell me the rent, only the square
Oh, they
feet
did?
charged.
They did not.
Yeah, so just check with them and see the rent. Then if
I
you
have on the MLS here, one unit is
okay.
paying 2,047.
Mm-hmm.
Another unit paying 1,483.
Mm-hmm.
Another unit paying 1,451.
Wow. So this is also Belleville. This is also Belleville. K8N. K8P. Check that difference. What's the location, better location. But you see the rental is totally off. 770 and that is 2,000. If by chance you can go and live in one property, you can definitely evict one person. And if you can get the same rent of other place, somewhat better. But I don't know, area-wise, everything varies. But $700 rent is not available in the market in all around Ontario now, in my state. So it's maybe living for a long time. Check it out. Okay, so if you go back to this one, it is also triplex, $400,000 each unit coming.
I don't know why
Okay,
they're
so-
calling it, why they're calling it, single family property.
Location from the is unfinished. Where do they mention a single family property?
There you go, property summary. Come up. Come down. You're moving around too fast there.
Yeah,
were-
maybe it's their mistake.
You were right at it. Come down a little bit more. Come
Yeah.
down a little bit more. Description, let's stop right there.
Mhm.
Property summary,
Yeah.
property type,
It's-
single family.
Yeah, it's a mistake.
That's
It's
the real,
clearly-
that's the realtor doing that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but anyhow, property is big, but at the same time, the price is also big compared to the other price, right? 649 and
It-
1.1, 1.2. So whatever the additional thing is gone with the price. So you have to really go with the numbers and see the net. Yeah, so it's a start, but all these properties are fairly done property. So is it the type of property, Jonathan, you want to go for?
I'm basically hands-on and I can work along with the handyman and I can fix things.
You can do the handyman with maybe the neighbor houses, not the houses that you're buying. It fairly look like
Okay.
then done properties.
All right.
So it is not something that you are really going to look for. See what it is.
Okay.
That's a problem. So because Bob brought a property that's a totally fixer-upper, and of course it has lots of potential. But only thing we have to have been very careful is the budget of that construction. And you put the salary for yourself as well, then only you can really make it as a sensible decision.
Okay.
And again, what is a profit margin you are expecting, market and carrying cost, carrying time, everything you have to put it, and then only you can make a decision. Because now in this market, the difficulty in the small type of property, single detached or duplex or triplex, it may look good, but at the same time, the renovation and everything drags by $20,000. The total profit may be negative or 10% or 20% less. So that is a difficulty in smaller properties. Even small margin of a mistake or error, calculation or what, budget, will totally throw away your profit. But when it is about 20-unit building or 10-unit building, the error will not be too much. You can still sustain. So that is a beauty of that. That's the reason many people try to buy together if they cannot do it alone in bigger properties. And of course, as I told, these properties are fairly exposed to the market and the fluctuation. Even though it's multifamily, it is categorized into residential category, right? Triplex. So the mortgage qualification, whatever properties you already have, and you are going to qualify for this. But of course, it is making rental income. So possibilities are there. But if you are already loaded with your loan, credit and income, then it's going to impact. So mortgage qualification is the same as you buy a single family property. So that you have to be careful. Okay. Right, that's a good analogy about the properties that you checked. But yesterday we talked about 3 different homeworks. One is the property, and the second one is actually I didn't talk much about the property. That's the first one. Second, we talk about finding some realtors or who can bring some deals. Since you are a realtor, you don't really need that side, of course. And Bob, if you really want, you can check it yourself, or otherwise find some realtors. Second homework we thought about is to bring some list of investors who can or may work with you or invest with you as an active investor or passive investor. So do you have any clarity about what sort of investor you are looking for? Are you looking for active or passive investor? Or no investors?
Go ahead.
Or no investors? What's your plan?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Without any investor.
Okay. How about Bob?
Whoever I can bring in.
Okay, that means you are looking for investors.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so that's
People have
another.
people have their RSP monies getting so much, but they can leverage so better in a real estate opportunity. It's
100%.
getting over the paradigm of the model of what's really possible to do.
True. That's true.
But once they see the light with the first project, then you got them.
Yeah. So how comfortable are you with RRSP money or convincing people to bring the RRSP money into your project?
I don't have any problem talking to people.
Yeah.
Finding the project, doing the due diligence on it, crunching the numbers, saying, yes, this is a viable project. Finding individuals with potential capital to invest is part of the reason why I'm in front of you with this group, because you have a reach to a lot of people. So
Okay.
on one level, I could float something out to you and I could get some feedback from somebody. Yeah, I want in on that.
Okay. Right. So that was the second homework. We thought of bringing
Yeah.
some list of investors so that gradually.
That was That was an easy one without even making any phone calls or anything, you know? I'm just saying,
Which
how many people in your network?
Yeah, people will be in my network or even your network. Still, when you start, only you will see the difficulties of bringing investors, because investors have a lot of choice.
Oh,
So
yeah,
they are going to see what are you doing and how long are you doing and what is the recent project you complete, what is the project you have now, and how much are you going to give, and am I
it's a
going to be
paradigm shift. It's a paradigm shift. We're trying to capture individuals that have been programmed to get a job, go to work,
okay?
retire, versus what we do or what we aspire to do is entrepreneurial.
Mhm.
Newsflash, a job is a pill they give you to keep you in a coma.
Yeah, correct. So your target audience can be the same working people who already built up some RRSP. Still, they like to continue doing job. Let them go. You just convince and bring the
Yeah,
RRSP to the project.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, take a list and start. And it's going to be a tough game for
But
sure.
the easier part is to have a reach into multiple individual groups, such as yourself.
Okay?
You know, that guy on TV, what's his name? He has the TV show and he does his thing a couple times a year.
Yeah.
McGilvery, you know, he's got thousands and thousands of people. He does his big thing down in Toronto.
Mhm.
And you know, I've got some reach into
Yeah.
that group. And you know, there's a number of others. You know who your
No,
fellow
because
investors.
I am sharing my all my knowledge here because you are specifically a VIP member too. So here, when you go into an investment group, they are already active investors most
Yep,
of the time.
right.
Only very few passive investors are coming into these investment groups. So they themselves look for some partners for their project, and they will be having some money. They want to put that into their project. And if you come even with a good project, they may not really invest their money into your project unless vice versa. You invest in them, they invest in you. Otherwise, they are looking for other investors. So that's the reason they are mingling with that group. So that group is somewhat good to get knowledge and exposure, things like that. But when you try to raise capital from them, they are going to evaluate big time because they themselves already investors. So they will ask how many properties you did, things like that. But as you said, the working people, they don't have much knowledge about investment, but they may be friendly with you. They may trust you, but they have money in their bank in RRSP. And if you can bring a good project, if you can really convince them, they can consider you. But just because you don't really keep your current track record, you have enough. If you have missed that for the last few years, the actual real investors active may not invest. But on the other side, for the knowledgeable active investors, you don't need to really educate about the opportunity. They can simply grasp it and they will understand, yes, it is really a good project. Compared to my own project, this is much better. So I can go as a passive investor, throw the money and wait. So that's a good thing. When you talk to them, it is easy to converse and talk and convince them. But other people, they are more skeptical. Even though
Yep.
they don't have knowledge, they will ask many questions. So it's a tough nut. So try to work both sides and see which suits to you better.
Yep.
So those are the three homeworks we planned. The third one is, of course, we told that we had to come up with some people, the power team, realtor, mortgage broker, lawyer, or whatever. Yes, that's a third step we thought of. Okay, so that's a good discussion about this. And now we can go back to our today's presentation. As I told, it's going to be the day 2. And we are supposed to talk about underwriting the properties. That's the first topic. And of course, it's an introduction. And again, as I told, we plan within 30 days if we can buy a property. So that's our target. And of course, VIP members can continue more. And second, today is the second topic. And as I told the VIP people, we are giving some giveaways and things like that. A VIP ticket for the 1st of November. It's a dinner network in Toronto, and you'll be getting a free ticket. If you're interested to come, please talk to us. And others, you can go for it. And we completed that homework. So I can just give some example what I did in the previous investments. Of course, this one property we bought it with for $845,000, and VTB over $150,000. And at the same time, here the good thing is when I bought it, one unit was rented for $543 per month rent. Still, the tenant is there. And another unit is rented for $620. Still, she is there for the last 14 years. I'm increasing only 2%, unfortunately. But all of the units was rented for $650 and $620 has gone up to $1,200 and $1,400. So the rental income has really gone high. And the good thing is I got a fixed rate mortgage. So mortgage is stable, 2.59 or something. So I think it's a 5-year mortgage, still maybe 3 years or what more. So you see the opportunity is really huge in this. The second property, of course, here I made one small mistake. I wanted to do some renovation. So for that purpose, I took a mortgage for 1 year fixed mortgage. So second year price has gone up. So my current mortgage is about 7% interest. But it has a good potential because we increase the rent. And again, in upper part, we can put about 3 or 4 bachelor's apartment. Everything is there. Kitchen is close by, water is there, washroom is there. So we can connect and put something more. And we can definitely do that very easily. So this is the forced appreciation I tell. Whenever we have property, if there is no forced appreciation, you are not really going to increase the value of the property. If you are an investor, if other people, the passive investors wants to put money with your project, you should be able to give value to them. You cannot wait. Yes, we bought a property and I'm managing that. Wait for about 5 years to 10 years. Market is going every 3 to 10 years. Sorry, 10 years time. The price of the property is almost double in the market. That's experience. So can you wait for 10 years? I can double you. You cannot tell that anybody can do it. That's not the purpose. The passive investor give you money. So you should be able to manage the property and increase the value as a forced appreciation. That is the reason. Then only you can really capitalize that opportunity. So here that real opportunity is there. So we are doing that and we can continue that. So third property I told this one, we bought it for 1.3, and of course then the value is about $2.5 million because we increased the rent drastically. The middle unit, this one, Pure Harmony, was a nail parlor when I bought it. And after that, they were renting that basement also, unfinished or fairly done basement, but they used as a rental unit, storage. But on the maturity time, I told the basement is not going to be with you, and only the upstairs I'm going to charge you $3,500. Originally, they were paying $3,000 for the basement. Basement is double the size of the upstairs, still $3,000. I said, if you want the basement together, $5,500. Basement alone, separate, and upstairs I put it for $3,500. At last, they took it for $3,000. After 6 months, they moved. Again, I put another guy. Then they are also not suitable. Now we are putting another person, experienced people, a new company, but long lasting. So $3,500 rent. And of course, the basement we are renting separately. And this particular restaurant, of course, it's a good restaurant, but at the same time, they are not properly taking care of that. And they are not properly paying the rent on time.
They're not, that restaurant, I don't think is getting any traction from what I've seen.
Because personally, they are good people. I want to respect them as a family, but they are a little late in the rent and they are not keeping the property clean and tidy so people come and sit and enjoy the restaurant. So for that reason, gradually they are already
That's
losing.
unfortunate. Now in the middle, there was the shoe, the guy was selling shoes upstairs, and in the basement he had a repair service.
Yes.
And he was doing those foot things.
So
So you
But they-
separated those totally.
Yeah, they totally moved out because they wanted a bigger place and they moved. Then only this new nail parlor was there.
Yeah,
So-
he moved across the street. Yeah.
Correct. So the reason is what I'm telling is, it is not that I have to expose what I am doing, but that's the purpose of real estate. You have to increase the rent, you have to increase the net operating income
Yep.
physically and by your effort. If that is not there, the investors are not going to be happy with you. So some people are hands-on, some people are already occupied with enough things, then they may not do that. So find out if you are really full-time or what you can do it. This property is another good property in downtown Ottawa. It's a commercial unit first, and there are 2 residential unit upstairs, both of them rented, and behind there is another small 1-bedroom residential unit. The basement is vacant and unfinished. I'm planning to do the renovation somewhere soon.
That's
So,
it.
definitely.
That's in the West End, off of Richmond Road or
This is somewhere Bay Street and Gladstone.
okay. Yep. No, I know that is. Yep.
So
That's
that has a good potential to
right at the-
increase the rent.
right at the corner. Okay.
Yes. So that's what we are buying, and that's how we have to look for. This is another 4.5-acre land property, and of course, the tenants used to be there for the last 20, 30 years, so they were paying very normal rent. But as you know, commercials, there is no restrictions, If the agreement is expiring, you can increase that to market value or even more than the market value. It all depends on your agreement. So we can increase the rent, and we are working on it. So that's the way it works. So definitely it can double the value. So this is a land, of course, we plan to build it or sell this property as it is, as a land. So the reason I'm telling you is, of course, when you try to go and do properties by yourself, if there is no partners, it is one way good, but one way you cannot do a lot of things. So see if you can bring some partners with the proper control and agreement and things like that, then you can grow bigger. But not everybody is really willing to grow bigger. They want to do something within their capacity on their own. That is their goal. Then perfectly okay. So carry on and talk about, think about what you really want and find out how you want to do that and achieve the goal what you really want to. So of course, I normally don't want to share my story because you guys know that what I did and what I'm doing. Of course, so this is the property I lost when I lost my job, and this is one of the other property we wanted to buy, $6.3 million, and I arranged the mortgage. Everything is about 7 years back. Out of the 4 partners, 3 partners did not bring their $1.5 million down payment on the closing date, so I couldn't
Oh.
close the deal. And I
Oh,
lost my $115,000.
you lost the deposit?
Yeah, I lost the deposit because seller didn't like to give extension or return the money back. Of course, they will not. So I lost that. So the mistake is, I did not really learn how to manage other people's money with proper structure or legal for paperwork and everything. So that mistake cost me this much. If I have paid some coach about $10,000, I would have saved the $100,000. More than that, I could have bought that property. That would have given about millions and millions of dollars. It's an amazing location.
You didn't
what
have,
I'm
you didn't have a protection for an out in case of something like that happening.
Yeah, at the time I didn't really think because I thought that I know fairly enough. So I'm a mortgage broker, realtor, investor, so I thought I can manage. Still, no, something was not there yet. Okay, so these are the single family properties we bought it. Okay, after that, yeah, that's all about that. So guys, we can go ahead to the next topic, that is how to underwrite the property. So in underwriting the property, definitely we have to understand about the cash flow. We have to understand about the net operating income. We have to understand what cap rate is. And the other formulas are cash on cash return and ROI. If you are really going to talk to any of your investors or investor partners, generally they are going to talk about ROI. But in ROI, we have to be very careful. Are they really talking about an annualized ROI, or they are just talking about the total ROI, investment ROI? Because even today, a very reputed company, investment company, called me, and I just thought of talking to them and see how they talk and what they do. They told in one of the investment they are going to give about 120% ROI. So then he keep on explaining other things, but he never tells this is for 5-year project or whatever, things like that. I let him go because he wants to attract the investors with 106% of what ROI. But after he explained everything, I asked, okay, is it 1 year or what? How many years? He said, no, 5 years. So automatically that has come to 21% or 20%. So ROI can be manipulated in any way. So you have to know exactly what formula they are using. Then you understand exactly. And the cash on cash return is another important thing, because when we go with a limited amount of cash and go to invest in properties, what we should know, okay, I'm putting about $100,000. So every year, how much I'm going to get percentage, 7%, 6%, 12%, what? And we should know what is the minimum that I should get as a cash on cash return. So you guys, do you have any minimum expectation? For example, if you have $100,000 and if somebody comes to you for an investment opportunity, and if you feel that investment is really good and meaningful, sensible, but what is your minimum expectation for you to say yes or no? Anyone? Can you put yourself in a passive investor shoe and decide, if you have $100,000, if you are going to invest that with somebody else, what is the minimum you are going to expect? Anyone? Nobody wants to go to passive investment side? Any idea? Jonathan, what do you think?
Minimum 15%.
Minimum 15%. Okay. Why you ask 15%? On what basis you decide that?
Comparing what's going on in the market.
Okay, that's one way. Second, there are people in this line of credit, their line of credit is already 9% to 12%. If they take the money from 12% line of credit, they can give it for 15%, because that profit is not enough for the risk they are taking. If you park your money with about a regular GIC, about 4% or whatever, then 10% to 12% is good. And 15% is a very reasonable expectation on a return. But some people really expect more, but practically in the market, that doesn't really happen. If that happens, it doesn't continue for long years. So that over expectation may be very bad. But yes, some people are keeping their money in RRSP, as Bob said, and they are not gaining much. And some people are putting GIC or bank account itself and keep it. So they can definitely go for about 10%, 9%, or even 12% return. So cash on cash return is fairly subjective for the cost of borrowing or cost of capital and the return what you expect. And the other one is a cap rate. So cap rate, I can come a little later. Net operating income. So anybody can explain about net operating income? When you go into commercial property, definitely you have to think about, understand about the detail of formula of net operating income. So net operating income is, of course, the total revenue less all the expenditures except debt servicing. Debt servicing means mortgage payment, first mortgage, second mortgage, third mortgage, whatever it is, or VTB, whatever. So you're deducting every expenditure almost except the debts. So why we are not including the debts into the net operating income? Anybody? Can anyone tell why the net operating income doesn't include the mortgage payment? Mortgage payment is an important payment. So we have to definitely look into that. But still, NOI calculation don't take that into the account. Why?
Is it a write-off?
What do you mean? Can you explain a little more? Can you explain that a bit? I didn't get exactly. Because net, of course, it doesn't include the mortgage payment. That is true. It's a big cost in investment. They cannot neglect that. But in the market, the capital is priced differently based on the property, based on the credit, based on the location, based on the loan to value, like the capital cost varies big time. So if you don't qualify for a mortgage, you may go for a private mortgage. Or if you have too many properties, you may go for private mortgage. Or if you have everything or the property is very good, you can go for an A-lender best rate mortgage. Sometimes some people make a mistake of taking a variable mortgage, and the rate has gone up to 7 to 7.5%. Some people have same type of property, they fixed it, so they are paying 2.5. So this is not exactly related to the property. That mortgage rate and the monthly payment and everything is fairly related to the owner of the way they decided. So that the next buyer is not going to be the same. So we cannot take a net operating income, including the net of the mortgage payment, then that NOI doesn't have any meaning to take any decision. So now all these expenditures, property tax or any other renovation cost or even the direct expenses of the property, heating, electricity, whatever, this is directly related to the property. Whoever who buys going to be the cost the same. Unless they take some effort and do some renovation, repairs, or any savings, things like that. As it is, if the ownership changes to somebody, that NOI is going to be the same almost. No rent changes, no expenditure changes, so the NOI is same. So that is easy to take a decision. Then depends on their mortgage capacity, they will figure it out whether this deal is good for me or not. So that's why the NOI is not including the mortgage payment. And the cash flow is fairly straightforward, each month or each year, how much is the total cash flow after you pay all the expenditures. So that cash flow and the profit may be totally different. Can anybody tell why? The cash flow and the profit can be totally different. Actually, we are looking for the profit in long term, but every month, every year, we expect the cash flow too. And those two numbers are not the same most of the time. First reason, the cash flow includes mortgage payment. That mortgage payment includes principal repayment as well. So when you pay back the principal, that is not an expenditure. So that is indirectly you are saving your principal somewhere. So that cash flow can be less, but it's okay because some portion of that is going to the principal indirectly. Second reason, of course, the fixed assets, you will try to put some depreciation. So when you do the real profit calculation, based on the revenue, you are going to deduct some more part of the building or the fixed assets as a depreciation. So you're going to show the profit lower, but that cash flow doesn't get affected by the depreciation. So you can get more cash flow, but actually the profit can be lower than that. So these are the two reasons mainly cash flow is different from the profit. Okay, now we can come to the cap rate. Can anybody explain about the cap rate, what it is? Cap rate, capitalization rate. So this is the formula for cap rate. Net operating income divided by market value. Cap rate is equal to net operating income divided by market value. So we assume in commercial properties, we always look at the cap rate. So we were looking for the triplex and twoplex or whatever. We never even talk about that cap rate there. Of course, there is multifamily property, but we don't call them as commercial property, right? Still, it is residential category property, less than fourplex or fourplex. So that's the reason we didn't talk about the cap rate over there, the triplex. But if you go for more than 4, 5plex and all, definitely you will talk in terms of cap rate. So the formula for cap rate is net operating income divided by market value. So we can put another formula as you can put that net operating income is equals to can you interchange this one? Net operating income divided by, or three different ways you can make this. So first one is cap rate is equal to net operating income divided by market value. Otherwise, net operating income is equals to cap rate multiplied by market value. So we will assume the first example what you brought, this one, $649,000 property. We don't know the net operating income here, right? Because they did not give every expenditures and everything, but income is there reasonably. Based on that, they say 32,064 is the annual income. And probably you know the property tax, how much is that? $3,939. And what are the other expenditures you have to do? Is there anything because separately metered? Because you see, everything is separately metered, including the water. So hydro is separate, gas is separate, water is separate. Tenants are paid. So what is the other additional expenditures for the landlord? Mortgage is their responsibility. Property tax is their responsibility. If there is any repairs, they may have to do it. Depends on the contract. If that is also any damage, whatever is the tenant's responsibility, probably that is also not a cost to them. Because here you can see, for a longer period, these tenants are living. It's my assumption. For $770, if the tenant is living there for 15 years, do you think the landlord will repair the property for them? Probably no, because at that cost, they cannot do it. For this $770, they cannot do it. So most likely tenant will do. So it has only two expenditures. One is property tax and the second one is mortgage. So mortgage is not a care for us when we calculate the cap rate. So can you go back and see what is your net operating income on this property? So you know the market value, $649 or $669. So net operating income is equal to cap rate multiplied by market value. What is the cap rate in Ottawa? How much you can assume in Ottawa? Anybody can tell? Any assumption, Ottawa cap rate?
7%.
7%. Do you find any properties in Ottawa for 7% cap rate? Can you, or did you see anything? Very unlikely. Because 7% cap rate means high cap rate. High cap rate means high risky market. Do you think Ottawa is a risky market or normal market? Ottawa is fairly ordinary market, closer to Toronto, but not as close as. So Toronto is very less risky market. That's why the cap rate is lower, 3% to 4%. Ottawa about 4.5% to 5.5% is the average, but some places about 6 maximum. I never seen a property with 7 based on that asking price, because sometimes you will find some property or you can increase the value and bring cap rate 7. But when somebody is selling a property in Ottawa, nobody priced that at 7% cap. Tell me, if they price at 7% cap, will the price be high or low? What is understanding about the cap rate? If somebody sells a property at the cap rate of 7, do you think the price is high price or low price?
High price.
No, opposite. High cap rate means low price. Low cap rate means high price. Toronto, low cap rate, 2%, 2.5%, 3%, 3.5% to 4%. And here the property prices are higher. So low cap rate, high price, and low cap rate, low risk. You can simply take the example in Toronto. Ottawa is next to Ottawa, so Ottawa is next to Toronto. So that also less risk and reasonably priced. Ottawa price cap rate is about 4.5 to 5.5. We can assume 5 otherwise. So if you assume 5 as the cap rate, can you tell the net operating income should be based on this for the first property? Market value, they told you the price, $669. Yeah, 649,900, 649,900. Multiply that by 5%. Can anybody do that? 649,900. So $650,000. You assume. What's the cap rate? $650,000 multiply by 5%.
32,500.
Yes, 32,500. So the net operating income for us to sell a property at $650,000 in a market where the cap rate is 5, that property should bring $32,500 net operating income. And here the example, you see, annual income is $32,064. Okay, and here it is not the real net operating income, because from this 32,000 gross, you have to add one more thing, that is a laundry income they told somewhere, I think, right?
Yeah.
Coin operated laundry bringing approximately $160 per month. So per year, how much? $160,000, $12,920.
1,900.
Okay, so you can add that to the $32,000.64. So 32,064 plus 1,800 something, that is 33,984.
Laundry is already included in that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, total income, laundry
Oh
income.
yeah, total rental income, laundry income, of course, we do got it. They already included that. Thank you for notifying, Sam. So only thing you can deduct is the property tax, $3,939. So once you deduct that from 32,000, around 4,000 you are going to deduct. So $28,000 is your net operating income. So if $28,000 is your net operating income means, and the property value is $650,000. So can you calculate the actual cap rate they are planning to sell? $4.3. Are you able to calculate that? Anybody? I gave you the formula for the cap rate, and you can put that net operating income is equal to this, cap rate is equal to this, or whatever the way. So we have the cap rate. So $28,000 is the net operating income divided by 5% cap rate is really the market value. Otherwise, you're going to put that market value divided by $650,000, coming 4.3% cap rate. So you see why the property is not sold yet. They're asking a triplex, a cap rate of 4.3. And if the person take this property, they may have to get a mortgage at the rate of 6 to 7%. So if they take a mortgage at the rate of 6.5, can they cover the mortgage? Can they cover the cost? At least 2%, 2.5% difference is there. So it's going to be negative cash flow. Unless you increase the value of the property, the rental income. If you can increase, okay. But those who are living for a long time, you cannot probably do that. And the other property, this particular property, I think 2 units are vacant. Good thing. But this is already another $75,000 they are asking more. Property is only 37-foot lot, but they are asking more. So this is the same problem too. So this also will not probably cover anything unless you really get 2 very high income rent. But when they come like that, they will not pay more because only one garage. I don't know who is going to use that. Other two tenants who are paying to higher rent, they have to park it outside. They may not like it. So here also, if you wish, you can do some due diligence. You can just run the numbers and see whether it is good or bad property. 98 days in the market. So this also going to be there for the in the market for reasonably long time, no doubt. Everything is there, but still that additional potential income is there means okay. Otherwise, it's going to be there in the market for some time. Okay, so that is the analogy of our numbers and underwriting. Basically, this is a basic underwriting only we are talking about. So cap rate. So again, you see here the market value we are divided by the price. Okay, that's with an example. Don't worry about that. So here two formulas I give. Net operating income is equal to cap rate multiplied by market value. Cap rate is equal to net operating income divided by market value. And again, the third one also I put it, you can see market value is equals to net operating income divided by cap rate. If you want, you can just practice with the same example, then you will get all three numbers in any manner. This should be a very, very easy thing for you guys. Then only you can decide if a property is good or bad quickly. Then you can decide whether you want to go and see the property. Then you have to see how you can do further underwriting. Underwriting we normally teach in 2 different classes, full day, because that's the most important thing. And we have to spend enough time to do that. So because underwriting, I do it in 2 different parts. One is by the time we purchase, what is the situation of the property? And after we do some renovation or improvement or whatever, how are we going to keep up the property, whether it's going to be profitable, whatever, cash flowing, things like that. So 2 different ways of underwriting, minimum. So it's a 2 different full day training. We try to do this. Okay, guys, we just continued that in the normal session this long, and we had to go into VIPs, and of course VIPs and my existing students can still continue. And of course we are having only few people, and those who are platinum, you can VIP members, you can stay please, and those who are already student of mine, please stay, and others we can meet tomorrow by 7 o'clock. And tomorrow's topic is going to be arranging mortgages. 1 second. Yeah, third day topic is how to find down payment. So that is a real situation, and that is a real purpose. Many students are joining my programs, not mine alone, every other real estate coaches programs, because people cannot keep on finding down payment. For the first property, Jonathan, you can do it yourself with your own money. But if you take it as a business and you have to keep on buying properties, that's called business. If you're just doing once, that's not business. Even CRA don't take that as a business, right? Even if you make profit, they will say, okay, you are just one-time doer. It's okay, you pay the capital gains. You are not doing a business. If you keep on doing that, they will not charge you capital gains. They will ask you profit tax, right? So one time is one time, business is continuous, long time. So if you want to do that continuously, you should be able to raise other people's money. Then only you can keep on buying properties. Otherwise, you will buy a property, sell that, take the down payment, again go and buy another property, little bigger, again sell that after 1 or 3 years time, then go for it. Do you think it's feasible? No. So if you really want to name yourself as investor, you can name yourself as a passive investor, perfectly okay if you have enough money. Keep on depositing in other people's property as long as you understand this is a good deal. Because sometimes passive investors get more return than active investors. Because some passive investors get guaranteed return plus profit share. So at least the guaranteed return, if there is more than 10% or closer to 10%, you have no risk. Plus the profit share is coming, and if you underwrite the property, if you feel, yeah, this property is going to be definitely a profitable project, yes, you are guaranteed in between. But active investors have all the risk. It can be profit, it can be loss, they have to bear it. So how to find down payment is a very important topic for investors. In our coaching program, we really spend enough time and try to coach all different ways of raising capital. But whatever we teach, and after that, it is your practice that only going to bring the results. So think about it, and you can join our program, talk to us anytime. We have many different programs, and today we thought of talking about one quick start for many people if you guys are interested. That is my online course. It's about 15 plus hours of training. You will go deep underwriting and raising capital and everything. And again, on top of that module is a lifetime 15 hours of online coaching program. It's a coaching course. You can take it. With that, we will be putting you in the next 3-day boot camp. In the 3-day boot camp, we will go very deeper in property analogy, analyzing, and everything. So that'll definitely help you to find your first property or next property and keep doing that. And of course, if you guys are mortgage brokers or real estate investors or what, you can definitely do that. Even one time, one of my coaching potential student, he's a lawyer. He wants to take it because he is teaching, he is really recommending good deals and bad deals for his clients without even knowing that. Sometimes we have some argument with lawyers because when we submit a deal to a lawyer and when we assign a client to them, even after that, they go through the deal and talk to the client, this deal is not good, why are you doing this? If they understand and tell that, that's perfectly a great job of a lawyer. I appreciate that. If they don't understand that, and if we simply discount the property or an investment, that is not the right job they are doing. Again, when we recommend or refer that lawyer itself to the client, and the lawyer is telling that, then we blast them. On what basis you say it's bad, and what do you understand about this? So one of the potential students, he's a lawyer, and he likes to join. So like that, as a realtor, mortgage broker, or even anybody, if you really want to learn more about commercial investment, things like that, you can join. Normally, our coaching program is $10,000 package, but this one is a piece of it. Piece of it means you are fairly going to have a lot here. That 15 hours of training, online course is a lifetime access, and on top of that, 3-day boot camp. That's also full 3-day boot camp. You can join. This price is put it for $997 Canadian. I didn't put any slides over here. If you are interested, talk to me today or tomorrow. $997 Canadian. If you are interested, at least you can start somewhere. Some people are thinking the real estate market is not doing good. Why should I start now? But definitely, it may be the time to start, because when everything goes to the right direction, it can take about 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. Nobody has a crystal ball, but 100% is going to happen. And 100% real estate property is going to go high again. And at the same time, 1 million people in this country, 1 year itself, 1 million immigrants came to this country. So they all are looking for properties. So definitely, if you learn, you will definitely make use of it as an investor or realtor or even more. Think about it. It's $997. You can discuss with me or ask any questions or text me here. So tomorrow's topic is finding down payment, and that will cover enough. Okay, guys. So that's all about for the regular students and VIPs. Please stay, and others we can see you tomorrow. And of course, I take 2 minutes, and we'll get back and continue.
We've been ranked highest in investor satisfaction among self-directed brokerage firms by J.D. Power. Visit biznet.com. Certain conditions apply. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Intention, pure, unrivaled exhilaration. Individuals become standard in life. You will experience with an additional 1% of recent finance rates on select models at the Lexus pending event. Not this new opportunity to drive home and reinvest. To the Lexus pending
So big, no, small movies. Until Sunday. Every day, Sunday night. Go finish. Finish. Come on.
Okay, guys, so we can do some more underwriting, or we can analyze more properties, or shall we take the same properties from Jonathan? Okay. I think Jonathan is not yet. We'll take 1 minute. We can put this one question. So here unit 2 and 3 are vacant. And how much is the unit 1 making? Do they mention that? Okay, it doesn't say that. Sometimes Jonathan may have talked to them or got some more information about that. Jonathan, do you have the rental income information for this property, Albert Street?
No, rental information is not mentioned in this.
Okay, for underwriting purpose, we'll take this example and mark it down. Unit number 1 rented for $1,200. Oh no, $900. Unit
Okay.
2 potential rental income is 1,300. Unit 3, 1,500.
Okay.
Okay. Price is there. Find out the net operating income. Based on the assumption, Ottawa Belleville cap rate is 5%. So cap rate is there. Price is there, 724,900. We are expecting only the net operating income, how much? And the gross income also you have now. Is there any laundry income, or it's a common laundry, no charges, no coins or anything? Mhm. I think there is a laundry machine, but it is not coin laundry, so they don't get any income from that. If you have any questions, doubt, please talk to me.
So this property annual income is 44,400 per year,
44,400, good, okay.
divided by 5% cap rate.
5%, yes.
Is Belleville
That's-
cap rate also 5%?
Yeah, Belleville, we assume that Belleville cap rate is 5, but
Okay.
probably that may be the range, because Belleville is not really getting that respect as Ottawa yet.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Ottawa, Belleville is closer to Toronto, so that has some positive. So we can
Okay.
assume 5 reasonably.
Okay.
How much the gross rental is? 44,500, right?
Right.
Gross. And how much the net? Deduct all the potential expenditures from the gross rent. There's no other income, only this rental income is the only income. But all the expenditures you can identify. Property tax is there, and there may be utility bills or anything. Just read the paragraph and see, is there any utility that landlord pays, or is everything is tenant pays? So shared laundry is there in the basement, means that cannot be separately billed, and it is not coin laundry. So that's a cost for the landlord. So what would be the cost? Electricity and water. So sometimes you see, is there anything that they mentioned there is any separate meter?
No.
Apple Store, Miss, no. Mhm. So here, in my opinion, the landlord is paying property tax, and landlord is paying water, landlord is paying hydro. In that sense, probably 99% of the time, they are going to pay the gas bill as well, heating bill as well. And the property looks like, yes, it's probably 1-unit building, so sourcing everything. So probably the landlord is paying all 3, but we don't know the number. So we have to ask that realtor to get the numbers, last 2 years or 1 year approximate bills. And you have to see whether the bill is when the property is vacant or tenanted. Then you will understand how much would be the cost. So for the time being, we assume water bill for the whole year is about $1,100, and hydro bill is 3,600. Enbridge gas is about 1,800. So how much is the net operating income?
So 600 minus 166, 350.
166.
350.
What is that?
So the total expenditure of water, electricity, gas, and the tax, if you deduct it from the total,
66,350?
166, 350.
66,350. 1,300 or 16,350 or what? Our net operating gross income itself 44,600 or something you told. Then you are deducting the water bill,
Oh, okay, okay.
property tax, gas bill, and hydro.
33,150.
33,150. Okay, net operating income. Okay, if this is the net operating income, and you know the cap rate is 5% for that area, we assume. So divide by 5%. Divide by 5%. How much is coming?
$132,600.
132. Oh,
33,150
okay.
divided by 5%
Okay.
equals 132,600.
No. 33,150 is the net operating income divided by 5% is $663,000. Am I correct?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So this is my assumption of the property utility bills, but if that is a correct case, you know exactly the net operating income will be the gross revenue deducted all the expenditures. So 33,150. And cap rate 5% is the assumption of that area. So that is a cap rate, you have to divide that. Then you are getting the net market value is $663,000. But what is our asking price? $724,000. If somebody is asking 724 for a property which is really coming $663,000 as market value, do you think it'll be sold? It's overpriced, so it won't go. That's why it is there for 98 days. So you can talk to the realtor and get the real numbers. Then you can do an underwriting again. You will understand exactly what you learn is correct or not. Okay, we can take the other example too and see what you can understand. Yeah, so here the price is, they are asking price 1.195, and they mention the square footage of the house, but property tax is there, but they don't show you the rental income, right? Rent roll is not marked. So here you can assume the rental income of each property, each unit, and do a calculation. Otherwise, you can assume all the expenditures, then you can do a math. So here, first one, we assume all the expenditures. So here we can put, this is, do they have a separate meter? Less than 3 years, window old, no, they don't tell that. So this is also shared, probably. So forced air, okay, but so you can assume here also the total rental income should be, somewhere they mentioned $2,000 rental income, things like that. Is it for Albert Street? No. No. So do you have any schedules for this property where it shows the income? No schedule, right?
It says the amount rental income is 4,981.
Per month.
Yeah,
Okay, 4,981 multiplied by 12, 59,772. And property tax, deduct that 7,213.66.
Ah.
And the way it looks, hopefully the AC, everything going to be paid by the landlord. Sometime the hydro may be on the client's name. We assume that way.
no, it's mentioned here, tenant pay rent plus utilities.
All the utilities?
Yeah.
Okay, then we don't need to
Just-
take count of that.
Great tenants that pay rent plus utilities.
Okay, but still, in my opinion, whether it is separately metered is the question. They don't mention anything here in the schedule. Do they mention there is separate meter or anything?
No, nothing.
Okay, so probably they may take the count and they will divide that by 3 or whatever and ask for the additional charges for the utility maybe.
Right.
If that is the case, still they are getting reimbursed, so we don't need to worry about that. So net operating income is going to be 52,558 because gross income less property tax. 52,558. Okay, that is a net operating income. And his asking price is 1,195,000. 1,195. Okay, so how much is it coming? Okay, so what is the percentage of, you know, the net operating income? 52,000 something,
Yeah,
and divide that by 5%. How much is that?
$1,051,000,
Okay,
160.
160. So that is a price, right market price, but actual market price is 1,195,000. So it is $150,000 overpriced. So you have negotiation room. You can ask the realtor on what basis you put this one. Do you think this it cannot be this price because the cap rate is only 5 in this area? Can you reduce the price to $1 million so that we can negotiate or whatever? So this is how the underwriting. It is just a start of the underwriting, and when you go deeper, then you will analyze a lot. And of course, we normally do even multifamily properties, 10, 20, 30 units, how it is working and things like that. So those are the most important things. So we did the underwriting on first, second, and third. And okay, do you have any other questions we can go through?
No.
Okay, so we are taking a triplex, so that triplex is, the underwriting is fairly straightforward. And when we really go into multiplex more than 6 or 7, whatever unit, it'll be totally different approach. We try to use the Excel sheet and things like that so that we can do it very professional manner.
Sure.
So, but yeah, even tomorrow, if you wish, you can take some bigger multifamily units if you are interested in, or you just find out what exactly you look for, a student rental or what, and bring some, do some underwriting and bring the numbers we can analyze.
Sure.
Then we can continue further. So do you have anything else to discuss?
No, nothing.
Okay. Sam, is there any questions or any concern you have to share?
No, Leo, all good.
Okay. Okay, guys. So we'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah.